Yo, can we get a round of applause for Moten real quick? The first out of the monster trio to reach the status of general. Even if it is only temporary, it's definitely well earned and definitely worth the praise. And are we even able to honestly say that this is temporary? I'm almost 100% certain that him, along with the others, will be ranked up to general status by the end of this war anyway, as long as he doesn't die in the war, of course. But even still, if he does die midway through the war, he'd have died a general, so either way, this shit looks pretty permanent to me. I feel like this chapter did a good job at setting the tone at the end of day one, as well as hint at what may be coming in the future. It didn't go down quite as I expected, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I don't know why, but for some reason I imagined all of the commanders on the left, right and center field all being in one big meeting. I guess I just completely forgot about the distance between them and how impractical that would have actually been in the middle of war. But in a way, the way Hara showed us in this chapter was actually better, because this way we got to see the emotions of each battlefield individually and see how the air and tone change between each one. And what I find crazy is that the battlefield that took the most casualties and suffered the worst fate is currently the most light-hearted battlefield. Like, I honestly feel like there's nothing but love over there. They all completely respect and acknowledge each other. They still have enough in them to make jokes and stuff. Like, it was actually amazing to see all of that. Especially when everyone else like Yotanwa and Ohan are all super serious. Yotanwa didn't even want to talk to anyone, but Ohan's battlefield was especially interesting to me. We really got some insight as to why Ohan feels the way he does about Osen. I mean, he didn't even refer to him as father or with any respect this chapter, it's just Osen. But at the same time, the things that Ohan is saying explains to us why Osen is so effective in war. He never hesitates to make the decision that will guarantee him victory regardless of who loses their life in the process, because he sees everybody as nothing but pawns anyway. It seems like the very things that make Osen such a dangerous general are the very things that Ohan hates about him as a father. I do plan on making a short video about Ohan in the near future, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. But moving on to Kanki's side of the battlefield. I honestly didn't expect to see anything from them for quite a while, and to be honest, this part of the chapter made me feel the most emotion out of everything. Seeing Gyo just makes me empathize with Zhao a little more. Like, from our point of view, Raboku is the bad guy and Issei is the godsend of a king that will unite all of China. But I can't help but think of that as such a selfish dream when Hara shows us panels of kids starving with no real home to go to, all because of a war that Issei needed to start to achieve his dream. And God knows what's gonna happen to all of these people once Gyo runs out of resources, especially since it's Kanki and his army that will be the first to enter the city. And it just goes to show that Kanki literally gives zero fucks. Like, they're all starving whilst he's eating perfectly cooked meals right outside of their walls and shit. Like, Kanki's actually a savage, yo. But it does seem like Kin are in a real desperate situation right now. As much as Osen really doesn't seem to give a shit and he doesn't want to admit it, we're extremely outnumbered. We took so many casualties on the first day and lost a very important general, whereas Zhao didn't really lose anything. And on top of that, Kanki's team, basically the people completing our objective, have stated that the only reason they're able to hold out is because the enemy they're going up against isn't coordinated. All it would take is for them to stop and think and attack together, and the tides could be completely turned in Zhao's favor. Any type of large reinforcements would spell defeat for us. And although a lot of people don't think that this would happen, it is still very much possible that people like Shibasho and Hoken show up as reinforcements, and if they do, things could get extremely messy for us. But yeah, overall I'd rate this chapter an 8 out of 10, although it didn't give us that much information about the plans to come other than the fact that Ohan will be the main focus for day 2. I like how it managed to visit each battlefield and give us a brief overview of what's going on at each. Even though we didn't spend too long with them, we were able to still get a sense of how everything is going, from people's emotions and all of that good stuff. But let me know what you guys thought of the chapter in the comment section down below, and let me know how you think Ohan will take the center stage in the next couple chapters. I look forward to seeing everything you guys have to say. Like the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of that kingdom greatness, and I'll see you guys in the next video. 1.